Would you like to know how profitable your Whatnot business is? Well, what if there was a way you can track your true profit, not just sales, on a monthly basis so you have a better understanding of your business? Well, there's a right way to do it and a not so good way. Let me show you. I'm Jonny Petrucco, an IRS enrolled agent, QuickBooks Pro advisor, and I've been helping sellers on Whatnot for a couple years. Whatnot obviously is a superior live selling platform. It's not an accounting software. And so understandably, some of the metrics have been lacking. They have a nice dashboard with the estimated sales. And I'm going to show you this in a bit when I share my screen. But keep in mind that dashboard is useful, but it's not 100% accurate. Thankfully, Whatnot in July 2025 made some major updates to their financial reporting, which is why I'm making this video. I made one over here a couple months ago, and that was great information. This is how the workaround I've been doing to record monthly journal entries for Whatnot bookkeeping. But thankfully now there's not a need for that workaround. Whatnot created a report that makes this a lot easier and I'd say more reliable. Let's take a look and we'll walk through it together. All right, I jumped into one of my clients' Whatnot, and we're familiar with this analytics tab, right, with the dashboard, and here we see estimated sales metrics. All of these amounts are estimated. To get the actuals, we go to finances. Now, previously I was using Ledger because that's all that was available, and I would download all the activity, had a great spreadsheet that was set up, comparing it to the Whatnot dashboard because that was the best info available, which is still pretty decent. But thankfully now we have weekly. This was released just within the last week or so. Monthly statements, that was released last month, and then annual, when I did that video, we had the annual statements. So this is wonderful. These monthly statements allow us to close our books on a monthly basis and get some accurate numbers. And so I've already downloaded it over here. And in accounting, we need a reliable statement that we can trust. That's why bank statement, for example, we perform our reconciliations and we're tying the books to the bank because we trust that source. In this case, we are going to trust Whatnot's financial statement. Now, is it 100% trustworthy? Well, I compared it a little bit to the Ledger, and there's slight differences, but they both can work. The differences are due to timing differences. And I would recommend relying on this statement because it's uniformed every month. You're going to have the same thing, and in a little bit I will show you the journal entry. I'll just go to it now real quick. So we'll come back to this and I'll show you how to do that exactly so we can correctly put all this information in here. But first, check out these forms. As of July 10th, we have an update here. And then regarding 1099s, July 15th. So I'm really happy to see this. And I'll be at the National. I'm gonna ask them about some updates and what other plans they have because I'm very pleased that they're providing some better financial data here. So as you read through this, we will see the detail of what's in that report, earnings. Okay, here's an explanation of all that's in there, fees and costs, total income. And the emphasis again, the seller analytics provides estimates of your earnings. Doesn't always match the statements or the ledger. Okay, I used to use the ledger, but I'm moving all my clients to statements. Look at this, the form 1099. So we have three source documents. Ledger and statements don't match exactly because of a timing difference, but I'm choosing statements. But does the annual statement match the 1099? The 1099 is what the IRS is receiving. And so there's also not a match there. And so this is where an accounting comes in. I mean, before the end of the year is ideal to get other deductions right. If you're making big sales and Whatnot, we need to make sure you're deducting inventory properly and all of your operating expenses. And at the end of the year, what are you going to report? The 1099? Because they add some extra things. So we actually are relying on statements, but then the CPA is cross-checking with the 1099, making sure it looks good. And then we'll hop over to the update on 1099. And I'm very pleased because even the IRS website doesn't have this updated, but you can see my other video on the Trump Big Beautiful Bill, how just what's said here in 2025, the threshold is back up $20,000 and is very important, 200 transactions. Before this bill, we had $2,500 in 2025 with one transaction, and then you would receive a 1099. Now, this is updated. I'm very happy to see that, and this is accurate. You will receive a 1099 from Whatnot through Stripe if you're connected to Stripe. If you're doing PayPal payouts, PayPal is supposed to send you the 1099 if you reach the threshold. Keep in mind, that's the federal threshold. And I'm happy again, Whatnot had a good accountant on board, because down here, they do mention the state thresholds. And unfortunately, so these aren't finalized yet because the states take a little more time, but these are some examples: Arkansas, Maryland, New Jersey, North Carolina. You very well could receive a 1099 if you had less than 20,000 in transactions. You won't receive a federal 1099, but a state one. So that income will be reported, meaning you need good bookkeeping to make sure you can take those deductions at the state level and the federal level, of course. So lastly, I will go back to this example for June and show you how do you put this thing into your bookkeeping. Let me try to split screen here so we can compare this together, but I'm using QuickBooks for all my clients. The Wave is great too. You can do this as well. Now, sorry, these are debits and credits. Reach out to me if you don't want to watch the debits and credits part. If you're kind of helping the admin staff of the Whatnot business, then this is going to be helpful to you. But if you would like me to just handle things for you, please reach out for a call. I'm happy to help. These are really fun, especially sports card clients or really anyone that's on Whatnot. And so you can see this is my journal entry that I set up on a recurring basis each month. A chart of accounts, right, is here and so forth. So we're just plugging these numbers in because I'm relying on it. We have our sales, but firstly, understanding this again, this is a bank account. Okay, so Whatnot here is showing we began with this amount and then we ended with this amount. Beginning balance, ending balance. We added $92,000 of sales. We took away $13,000 of fees and costs, and then we paid out through Stripe the $86,000. This plus this minus that minus this equals the closing balance. So when I make this journal entry, I'm checking my balance sheet, right? This journal entry mainly impacts my profit and loss, but on the balance sheet, I'm good. I'm tied up. At the end of May, I have this balance, and at the end of June, I have that balance. So that's going to be some of your checks and balances. And so you can see I'm just plugging in these numbers: commission fees, payment processing. By the way, right, when you do like 6,000 divided by 92,000, that's way more than 3%. That's because this client has like 10,000 orders in the month, and so you get killed. So this is some insight too, where 30 cents per order, that's 3,000 there, plus 2.9%, that gets the 6,000, which is really over closer to 7 or 8% of actual fees. So that was payment processing, and then the commission fees, you're 7.2% if you're a premier shop and 8% if you're a regular one. So you can do some analytics, even seeing what fees are, and then your shipping. So these are due to the seller paid shipping and handling. That is through your giveaways primarily, because the buyer is pretty much paying for your shipping. So another analytic there, and you can run reports and understand. This one down here is our plug number. Okay, I have a journal entry template on my spreadsheet, but this is a plug to make sure the debits equal the credits. I create an account called Whatnot Receivable, which is this bank account here. And the plug is actually earnings minus fees and costs. This just makes sure that when I pull up my balance sheet, my Whatnot balance will be $1,048. And that's how you make your Whatnot journal entry each month, to track your sales and your selling expenses. So this is not the whole picture, of course. We need to also bring in our inventory costs, which is not easy to track that appropriately, but I do have some methods for doing that. And of course, your shipping supplies and all of the other overhead. So yeah, feel free to reach out. If you have any questions, I can help you get this set up, or just always happy to talk to anyone in the Whatnot space. So take care, and at Sports Card Tax Guy, we're helping our clients trade their IRS stress for financial success. Talk to you soon.